everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones, and I'm here to bring you guys a wonderful and intriguing and exciting show today with the Honorable Mr. Dr. John Stamey. Mr. Doctor. Oh, man, we have a big event coming up this weekend, and we just announced a brand new event today, as a matter of fact. We are going to be at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference on Saturday up in Tiger, Georgia. And so, of course, we've got John here. We're gonna talk Bigfoot today and other creatures as well from around this area where we're going to be this weekend. And also, we just announced something that I've been planning on doing for a long time. And John and I are putting together a Bigfoot town hall over in West Georgia. And that's going to be next month. It's coming up soon. We have a lot of Bigfoot sightings around West Georgia. And I know personally a lot of people who have had encounters. And so we're hoping to get a lot of those people out to this town hall to discuss it. It's going to be fun. We're going to be over at McIntosh Reserve Park over in Whitesburg, Georgia on April the 25th. Y'all come see us at that. Let's see. I think I uploaded the flyer. Just made this morning. So we're going to do the West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall. If you guys live anywhere near there, East Alabama, or if you're in West Georgia, come see us. Even if you're in downtown Atlanta, y'all come out on Saturday. We're going to have, they were planning on having some vendors and get some of my friends that are, Bigfoot field researchers and stuff. We're all going to be there. Of course, I'm going to be speaking and answering questions about Bigfoot. And we'll dive into some of the sightings around West Georgia. If you know, we've had a bunch of dogman and werewolf encounters as well. So, I'm going to talk about those too. But it is a family-friendly event. And so we're just putting a sweet little Bigfoot on the flyer. But we're going to get kind of into the dogman stuff too, probably. But y'all come see us. That's going to be a great event. And of course, we do have the 2026 Georgia Bigfoot Conference coming up Saturday with the usual suspects over there. It's going to be a wonderful time. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when I bring John up today. But yeah, y'all please come and hang out with us at that event. All right. So if you guys would like any kind of information on me, y'all go over to my website. That's the cryptidhuntress.com. And you can get information on all these events there on my website. Of course, you can also go to the Georgia Bigfoot conference.org as well. But I do put all this stuff on my website too. And of course, you can check out all my shows through my website and my calendar of events. I need to update that today. All right. But also if you'd like to support my work and stuff, y'all please go over to Patreon. Y'all can become a member there, or you can check out my War Woman Goods shop over on Etsy. So thank y'all so much for all your support. You can also join my channel on YouTube as well. So thank you to my Hunt Club members. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, this is something we're going to talk about today that has not been talked about before. Not on my channel. We're going to be getting into the wood helpers, or the woods helpers. I have a report of these out of North Georgia. I think it's in Banks County. And so let's see. I need to pull up the maps in just a minute to show you guys where these are located. And these sound more like Ewoks than Bigfoot. Okay. And we have a wide variety of strange things over in North Georgia, and we're going to dive into that today. Okay. And thank y'all for being here today. By the way, if y'all missed our show on Monday with Jane and Garrel of Midwest Night Watchers, please go back and watch that. I'm still laughing over that. If you are not familiar with what happened, I accidentally played the wrong clip, which included a gentleman who had gas or something. Please go back and watch it. It's fun. Okay. On this episode of A Glitch in the Matrix, we're exploring reports of what locals in rural Northeast Georgia call the Woods Helpers, a tribe of 3.5-foot tall, hairy humanoids who were known to help the elderly with chores around their homes in exchange for food and drinks. And I'm going to tell you exactly what kind of drink that is in just a second. Dr. John Stamey is here with me to discuss the encounters with Bigfoot that he's had in this area. And we're going to get into some Bigfoot reports in this area off the BFRO website that are quite interesting. And we've got lots more to talk about as well. And before we get into this too, I do want to mention, I know the big buzz going around the internet right now is like that the Patty film might have been hoaxed. Okay. And um, I am not going to comment on that whatsoever today. I'm going to try not to comment on it too much. Actually, I was going to ask Dr. John maybe about a Bigfoot costume that he knows about today that might have been used in something like that. But we're going to have MK Davis here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. MK is coming on the Cryptid Hunters channel. And MK is one of the leading researchers of that film. In my opinion, he's one of the best people who've ever broken that film down frame by frame extensively. And he's going to be here. We're going to talk about that tomorrow and get his opinion on whether that's a hoax. I know he thinks it's not. Okay, so but we're going to talk to MK about that. We're gonna kind of hit it from different angles tomorrow night. So so come and see us. That's going to be a badass show tomorrow night. And but for now, we have another badass person here in the studio and a badass show. I just like saying ass. Okay, please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Dr. John Stamey. Hey, John.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
I am excellent. I'm so excellent. Thank you for being here with me today.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to be here, and I hope I do a good job and tell everybody about the new stuff that we've got about Bigfoot.
We have a lot to discuss today on Bigfoot, John. I mean, it feels like my life revolves around Bigfoot now. What about you?
Well, it really does. And what's interesting is I had a friend over here at my house because I've moved to Morganton, North Carolina, and we heard a Bigfoot outside of the house. Because now that I've moved here, I guess they know I'm here, and they were kind of talking to me, and he was terrified. I said, "Don't be worried. They're actually good guys. They really are." And Jessica, I know you've been around a lot of Bigfoot, and you're still alive. Bigfoot is,
Yes.
in general, a very good and positive individual.
Oh yeah. For the most part, yes. I would go hug one if it'd let me. Okay.
Let's say in general, because like humans, most of the humans are good people, and some are incredible people, and some are not necessarily the best people. But in general, the Bigfoot that I have dealt with that want to contact me, they're in the good to very good crowd.
Yes. I'm glad you've got the good side of the scale on your side. That is wonderful. And yeah, I have a lot of Bigfoot research weekends coming up and stuff. I can't wait. I'm super excited. And I have some of the best field researchers coming on my shows here. I always have some of the best researchers on my shows, but yeah, we're super excited. I'm excited to get to see all of my friends at the conference this weekend and the Bigfoot town hall we have coming up as well. But first, I want to thank Blazer MT for that super sticker 1111. I appreciate you, Blazer. Thank you so much for your support. You're awesome. And I did see this comment too from Dottie. Dottie says, just got here. Bryce from Esoteric Atlanta is coming to see me at the conference. Yes, Bryce and her boyfriend are coming to see us at the conference. We actually have a lot of people coming to this conference on Saturday. So if y'all want to meet Bryce and Todd, y'all come see us. Okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I will. I really can't wait to meet a lot of these new friends because, you've done a good job with getting this out in Atlanta. And that's what's very important because we're the closest Bigfoot conference to Atlanta in the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like listen, y'all, me and Dr. John have some things in the works. We've got a lot of things planned for this year, don't we, John? A lot
yes,
of Bigfoot
we certainly
stuff.
do. And I don't want to divulge them, but we've got like 5 or 6 town halls we're going to do and a couple of conferences that are very important in the paranormal aspect and about Bigfoot. I mean, it's really, this information is very important that we can get out. And you know what? If we don't do it, Jessica, no one else is going to do it.
Well, we're doing it. We're doing it. And today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be talking about something a little bit different today that I'm used to reporting on out of Georgia because I'm here talking about werewolves and dogmen and Bigfoot sightings. That's the kind of the what they call it, the what they call it. I think Nick called it like the holy trinity of like the cryptids there. The Trinity, right? But we have
Yeah.
other stuff around us as well. And there's a report out of Banks County, Georgia, which is just south of Clayton and Rabun County, where we're going to be this weekend, where they have what sound like little people, almost like Ewoks.
And before you continue, I want to say that is really Commerce, Georgia, which is really right off Interstate 85.
Okay, yeah, Commerce. That's interesting. I'm glad you know your geography better than I do.
Well, I go
when it
over
comes to
there all the
Georgia.
time, and I say I've got a very favorite bookstore, and he always orders me stuff that I can't find anywhere else. It's called Books, and you go to that first shopping center, it says Books, and that guy is just massively wonderful. He is so cool. He gets me great books. He just got me a book on a copy of The Vampire by Dr. John Polidori, which was published in 1818. And he just got me a copy of Varney the Vampire. And we're
Barn.
working on some vampire projects.
Yeah.
And all I got to say is thank you, because this is one of the two best bookstores that I know. Also, the other one is Harry's Books up in Silva. He got me an 1848 copy of the
Whoa.
works of Lord Byron, and I
Oh,
was
that's your
just
favorite.
Lord Byron is the god, the god of literature. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
he was the most famous poet in the Romantic era, and he got me a copy of this book for almost nothing. I'm not going to say how much because he might have to copy people more, but he's just a really great guy. Harry at Harry's Books in Silva, and just books down there in Commerce. I love books. Books are very important. I know we have to have the internet and we have to talk about what's on there, but when you have books, when you have an
Yeah.
1848 copy of the works of Lord Byron, and I was
Oh,
working with it last night doing some things. I mean, it's just grand, and you can
books
feel
are
the
good.
vibration of how wonderful it is to be holding a very special book.
I love books. Okay, I got
Oh,
books
I do
behind me.
too.
So books are great. And you've written your own books, and I hopefully will write one day myself. Okay. And
Well,
that's
I'm
wonderful.
going to pester you and worry you now. If we're going to do some Bigfoot uh, events, we've got to get you a book, because you've got some of the best stories.
I
And I know
do.
it's
I do.
wonderful when you talk about them online and here, but we've got to get those down. And so this is notice,
We'll do it.
Jessica.
Okay.
We're
I'm
going to
on
make
notice.
sure we're going to make
Okay.
sure that you get some good books out.
Okay, I will. Thank you, John. Andrew Gnome's Trucking Express. What's up, Andrew? He says Covington, Georgia is where the Dukes of Hazzard got started, and part of Smokey and the Bandit was filmed in Georgia too. And another favorite is Deliverance, which was filmed up in Clayton, where we're going to be this weekend. And actually, the banjo player kid was at one of your conferences, John. I remember that. He was giving autographs
That's
and
right,
stuff.
Billy Redden, and
Yeah.
he has actually contacted me, and I'm trying to see if we can get Billy Redden there at the conference. He is a really good guy. I like
I
Billy
heard.
a lot. And
Oh,
he's got
yeah.
huge amount of history. And that film clip of Billy Redden as Banjo Boy is one of the greatest film clips,
Banjo boy.
I believe, in modern film history.
It's memorable, that's for sure. It definitely is. And bless his heart, man. He's a cool dude. I met him. We were up there.
Oh, he is. He's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, John, let's get into to these little woods helpers. Okay, to the woods helpers, and let's see. I'm going to pull up this website and read this directly from this website today. We're going to go over this. What did I see in the woods? Okay. And let's talk about this. This was actually posted back in 2010. It's been a while. Okay. And y'all can go over to yeti-whatdidiSee.blogspot.com for this if you guys want to read this yourselves. But the Woods Helper. And so this is okay. And here's, let's see if this will come up. I don't know if that's going to show or not. This, okay. So wait, there, well, that's Clayton, actually. You guys can see Clayton. It's the little red county in the very top corner. That's where we're going to be this weekend, is Rabun County. This is Banks County, okay, where that red is. It's just directly south of Rabun County, where we do. I mean, there's a lot of Bigfoots up there, y'all. I'm going to leave it at that. Lots of Bigfoots up there. But this is Banks County. Right below that is where we're going to be talking about this article today. And so this is someone that had blogged about this. And I'm going to just kind of scroll down a little bit. Now you see this picture right here. Let me blow this up. This is similar to what they said they saw. Okay. A 3.5 foot tall, hairy, they said it had kind of long hair, a hairy being. And there was an entire tribe of them apparently, but let's get into this. Okay. So this person was actually selling insurance, going door to door at the time. And just a long story short here, they said that they went to a modest cabin in Banks County at the end of a dirt road behind a small stand of trees. It's very forested over there. And they were greeted by a very old woman who said she lived alone, but would like to take a policy out on her cabin. I guess they went to go sell her some insurance. Okay. And this person said they were walking around to the shed outside when they saw a totally hairy and muscular biped, I say biped, of some sort stacking wood. This thing wore no clothes, but had very long hair covering its entire body. It had a black nose and very large black eyes and a mouth very much like a human being, but not quite. It was hard at work stacking wood and did not seem to notice me. I should also mention that it was no bigger than around 3 foot 5 inches tall, if even that. It was, however, very plump and wide. It made grunting sounds as it worked. It seemed very strong. I asked the lady what on earth it was, and she casually replied it was a woods helper, and that many of the county's old-timer residents had one from time to time to help them with tasks that they were too old to handle. These woods helpers only asked for food and some drink. The woman also explained to me they drank only beer and never seemed to be drunk or disorderly. Golly. She said that they had been a blessing since long ago, and many of the older people, and of many of the older people in the area, she did not know what species they were. In fact, she did not even understand the word species, which is not unusual for rural people like her. She said that everybody knew about them, but not many people liked to talk of them. They said, I got one more look at the thing before I drove off. It was moving rocks to a runoff ditch this time. It looked like something from a sci-fi magazine or even a comic book, but it was real. And then again, here is I guess this is just kind of the closest thing that they could find that kind of looked like this woods helper. And John, what do you make of this? Have you heard of these strange little creatures before? I mean, from what I understand, I was reading some comments on this. I was trying to do some digging on these things, and people were saying that they were part of a tribe.
Well,
there's a bunch of them.
Here's what I think. First of all, had I ever found them, I would have made as many friends as possible. Because you know what? You know, it's funny. I referred the following book, How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And you know, if you make friends with people, you will get the World's Fair. You really will.
Oh yeah.
So
Reverend. Oh,
and
go ahead, John.
I would have loved to have met them, because the first thing I would have done is I would have patted them on the head and I would have said, "Can we be friends?" I can guarantee you that I would have said that.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. I'm going to look up something real quick because I want to show the audience what I think they look like. Okay. And I know there's a picture right there. But if we go to remember these old Star Wars movies? Okay, and it sounds like a puckwudgie. That's right, Reverend Wolf.
Yeah.
It sounds more like, to me, it sounds like an Ewok. Oops.
Well,
Hold on, I
something
hit the
like
wrong button.
that. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think I dressed my son up like an Ewok on his first Halloween ever, and we had the best Ewok costume. I made it from scratch, and even had him a spear with a rock and little twine on it. It was great. Okay, he looked like, I'm going to pull that picture up and show that to y'all one day. But this is what it kind of sounds like they had out in their woods. I mean, look, they got like darker noses, and they're plump, and they're squatty looking. I mean, they're cute, but they also look like they could be dangerous. Okay, they carry pointy sticks. But this is kind of what it sounded like they had out there. Now, John, something else the lady said was that they basically exchange their labor for beer. For beer. That almost sounds outrageous, but what do you make of that?
Well, that's interesting because beer is actually a nutritional item. So, go for it.
Hey, that's
And
true.
I don't think that it matters. That's wonderful that they were at least there to do work and exchange. And I just wonder, how did the people understand that that's what they wanted?
Well, maybe somebody was drinking a beer. Maybe so, and maybe they just, who knows, John. It sounds like it goes back pretty far, and something that I'm kind of familiar with up there is that they like to make moonshine in that area.
True.
That area is known for, back in the day, they were making moonshine and stuff back there. Now, moonshine is not the same as beer, but I don't know. I know people that make homemade beer all the time. I got a good friend of mine on one of my teams. He loves making beer, and I used to help make beer sometimes, actually, at the house. So I don't know. I didn't think about that, John. It's nutritional. I have to remember that next time somebody says they want to go get beer. I'll be like, man, it's healthy. Good for
Right,
you.
because beer is made of wheat, and that's what we use for bread.
For bread. That's right. Well, I don't know. Have you heard of any stories of puckwudgies and stuff around that area, John, or little people at all, like up in Rabun?
Well, not really, but there's a good book by Mary Joyce about the little people in the area.
Oh, really? Do you know what she said about them?
She just talked about some of the stories from the local people. That's
Wow.
about all I know. Now, if I had known
Man.
I could find her books over there, I would certainly talk about them. But no, Mary Joyce talked about the little people in the area.
Meat from the Vikings. Well, very interesting. It's just one more thing we're going to have to look out for when we're out in the woods. Okay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, I found that fascinating. I knew it was in the area of Rabun, where we're going, and where you've actually had your own Bigfoot encounters out that way. And I know we don't give our locations away. Okay. But I found there are 3 really, really fantastic Bigfoot encounters that have happened up there that are actually on the BFRO website. And I wanted to go over some of them, because one of them was actually a Bigfoot encounter at Tallulah Gorge. At the Tallulah Falls, which is actually, if you're coming from Atlanta, you're going up to Clayton, you pass right through it, right over the road. Beautiful waterfall. So that is the inspiration for the thumbnail today. As a matter of fact, I had to get some pictures of Bigfoot in front of a waterfall. Why wouldn't a Bigfoot not want to go hang out under a waterfall? I think that's a great place.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and Tallulah Gorge and Tallulah Falls has a magnificent waterfall down there, and we'll get into to that sighting now. John, you said that's actually one of the most famous sightings out of Rabun, right? The waterfall one?
Right. One of the most famous sightings out in Rabun County is the Bigfoot sighting by the
waterfall.
What's it called? By the dude that is part of the part of the whatever.
The
And
BFRO?
yeah, well, no, he was a. It's terrible that I can't think of it, but he saw a Bigfoot, and he just sat there on a rock, and some Bigfoot came up, and he absolutely just did not freak out. He just was very quiet,
Oh,
and
man.
it was very important that that's what you do.
Yes,
Just
yes.
be very quiet when a
No
Bigfoot
sudden
comes
movements.
up, and just that's what you got to do.
No sudden movements. Freeze if you see a Bigfoot, y'all. Actually, you know what? That's not bad advice because when we were out there, we got surrounded by all the Bigfoots in Uwharrie, North Carolina. Uh, Keith, love you to death, Keith. But Keith took off walking towards them when they showed up. And that's when they all disappeared. So just don't walk towards them. Act like you don't see them and they'll stick around for a little bit. You got to pretend, you got to act normal and act like you don't
They
see
will.
them.
They certainly will, and just be very careful when you're around them, and just be don't be any kind of
Yes.
any kind of I'm trying to say
Oh my
don't
gosh.
be any kind of worrisome with them, and just be very kind and be very slow, and they will know that you're okay. But I'll tell you
Yes.
what,
Don't try to grab
if
them.
you're not that way, they can get very upset.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You know, I was just thinking there is another case of a person who wandered off into the mountains and found a group of little people and carried their beer kegs. And then he went up, I guess he was fighting with his wife. And that is Rip Van Winkle up in the Catskill Mountains, right?
Right.
And he went up, carried
Yeah,
kegs of beer for him, got
that
drunk.
was the Catskill Mountains. What town is that near?
It's near Catskill, New York, I guess. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's up it's up in the mountains of New York.
Okay.
Okay. But he fell asleep. It's where Charles lives. Charles with Catskill Mountains Bigfoot. He's been on the show before. I just messaged with him this past week. But he went and drank the beer, had a good time with the little people in the mountain. He woke up, what is it, 80 years later or something? It was many years later he woke up and he went back down into town. He had been missing for all those 80 years. And he was an old man when he got down there. So that's an interesting story. And so I'm not really trying to connect it too much with these little people that look like Bigfoots, but they're tiny, like little Ewoks in Banks County, Georgia. Could be though if they like beer. Okay.
Well,
Could be a
I've
little bit.
had one story about Ewok or small Bigfoots in Banks County, and I better not tell where it is, but it's actually behind a very big store, and a lot of people have talked about it down there because
Oh man.
I'm there in Banks County a lot. So, it's just really nice that you're talking about stories that I've had stories about.
Oh yeah. That's wonderful. Tyler, hey Tyler. Tyler, you were the first to comment today. Thank you so much. Long ago in rural Appalachia, a lot of the moonshiners have stories of Bigfoot coming down from the mountain in the middle of the night, and they would raid the corn mash. Man, that's that's pretty interesting. Also, they like to lick bacon traps as well on people's grills. So watch out if you guys have grills sitting out. You live in the Appalachians. But that's interesting. And yeah, I'm gonna take note of that one. Lots of moonshining though went up. Well, I'm not saying it goes on now, but it definitely went on back in the day in North Georgia, all over that area.
Truly, it
Helen.
really did.
That's where NASCAR racing came from, right, John? And
Yeah, yes, it
Awesome
did.
Bill from Dawsonville. And they had a bunch of moonshiners running moonshine in their cars, and they were really fast. So ask me how I know. My grandfather owned two of the first NASCAR teams when they raced on the beach. Okay. But anyways, okay. Well, okay, so let's get into some of these sightings. All right, over in Rabun. These are actually some of the. This is from the BFRO website, and let me share the one. Let's go into the one about the. Let's see, Raven. Hold on one second. Raven. Here we go. The Raven reports, and let's see this one. Let's go to Minnehaha Falls. I don't know if this is the one that's with the falls right here. Maybe it's Minnehaha. Was it Minnehaha? Maybe it wasn't Tallulah. This is a different one. Okay, let's talk about this one. So this was a long time ago, actually. This was back in 1998. There's a hiker that said they had taken their first trip to the North Georgia mountains, and they went to Tallulah Gorge area. This is it. And they went to, they hiked to the bottom of the gorge. That's a long hike down there. And
well,
the sun was already setting.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yes, it is. It's taken about 4 or 5 hours for me the last time that we did it. And it was terribly difficult.
Oh yeah. It's a tough walk, y'all. Wear your hiking shoes if you go. But this person said that they thought it was a pretty easy stroll to the falls. They noted that there was only one person there. They did not observe anything weird at the time, but they did smell something that smelled kind of like a dead animal, but it was just musty and sweaty. But see, when everybody's hiking, everybody's musty and sweaty. You never know. It might not be a Bigfoot. But they said they stayed until it was completely dark, and I fished my flashlight out of my backpack. They were looking for their sandwich to go hike out. They noticed there was a figure of what they thought was a person squatted to the right of the falls with some bushes. I thought it was another hiker I had either failed to see sitting there or someone who had arrived after me. I did not turn my light on yet. I didn't want to turn it on as to, blind the other person. But he began to walk in the direction of that person to say hello. And that's when it stood up, and he could tell it was 9 to 10 feet tall. I still thought it was very tall person until I got about 20 feet of it, and the smell became extremely bad. I could hear the thing breathing shallow, and it kind of sounded like when a person has a chest cold with some gurgling or rattling in the chest. I stopped and turned my light on and tried to shine it on the thing, but it began to turn away from me as it took very long strides and walked on 2 legs. It was dark brown in color and had matted hair covering its body. It stopped and turned towards me from about 60 feet away and took about 6 steps towards me. In the bushes, I became scared and drew my service pistol from my fanny sack. A fanny pack. He's a police officer and stood my ground while yelling at it to stop. It stopped and then turned away. The creature walked away without turning back. I left the area and drove back to Marietta, Georgia. And he didn't tell anyone because he thought they'd think he was crazy. The smell lingered, and they said that's why he was scared. There were no other witnesses. That's why he didn't want to report it. It was also dusk turning into night. Let me tell you, John, that is always the magical moment when I'm out in the woods from at dusk, right when the sun has gone down and right before it gets really dark is when it gets really creepy out there. And,
absolutely, it does. And that's a really good story. I mean, that happens a lot, and people don't want to really talk about kind of, what's going on in terms of the, in terms of, what is happening. And that was a very, very good story. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Well, that's one of the best known stories out of Tallulah Gorge. And look how beautiful, y'all. This is actually one of the waterfalls out there. And it is just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful out there. Georgia has some of the most beautiful waterfalls. And I did want to note that a lot of these waterfalls around Georgia are where we get dogman sightings as well. Dogman and Bigfoot sightings. There's actually the one that was up in the county where I used to live out in Paulding. They have the Paulding werewolves. We've done shows on those before. And we had, there's a place called, I think it's called Flat Shoals or High Shoals Waterfalls, I guess. I've been there before. And that's where we have Bigfoot and Dogman sightings out there around that waterfall.
I mean, I'll tell you what, the Dogman sightings are really more prevalent sometimes than the Bigfoot sightings, but the Dogman sightings can ultimately lead to very difficult times. And
Hmm.
may I say this?
Sure.
You got to be careful about the dogmen because they will destroy you.
They will destroy you. I, I think I have not been destroyed yet. Okay. But they could. Bigfoots could destroy you too, John. Okay. And I mean these little people could destroy you. You know what I mean? So we're just
Well,
gonna try to
yeah.
stay on the good side of them, so they don't come destroy us, right, David? David Pardue is in the chat. Hey, David, out of
Oh,
North Carolina.
say hello to David Pardue. We look forward to having him at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference.
Well, I'm not sure he can make it, but hopefully he'll be there. And yeah, thank you for being here, David. I appreciate that. I know I'll be seeing David in the next several weeks for sure. But yeah, okay. So that was one of the most well-known cases out of Raven, but there's a couple more that I wanted to go over in addition
Okay.
to stuff I wanted to talk about today, of course. But let me see. Am I sharing my screen? I am not. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me back out of this one. We're gonna go to the next one real quick. And these are just 3 reports, and let me tell y'all, these are not all the reports out. I mean, these are the reports that are on this bfro.net website, but I can promise you in this area, we have seen there have been many, 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 many more Bigfoot sightings out of this area. Okay, so let's see. Rabun, Georgia. All right, it takes me a minute, y'all. I'm getting used to this computer. Okay, so a fisherman. This was actually the most recent. Now this is 12 years ago. This was 12 years ago, but this was actually a fisherman. Now, John, how many lakes do they have in Rabun County? I know they have Lake Rabun. They also have, what is the other lake there?
There's Lake Raven, and I can't remember the other one. They're like 2 large lakes that are owned by Georgia Power Company.
Yes, the other one, I don't know. I used to go there all the time. One of my best friends has a house there on that lake, and a couple of friends. Okay, so this happened at the West Fork of Chattahoochee River. This is off of War Woman Road. Okay, there's actually a place over there where there's camping and stuff. You can go if you guys are ever interested in going up there to Clayton. They got some good camping spots up there, campsites and stuff, and a bunch of good hiking trails. And it says, okay, so this person, they went to their favorite spot for the weekend to get some peace and quiet and to get some trout. They just went trout fishing. They weren't looking for Bigfoot. And they said that they were camping out. They had, there's an old home place they go to that nothing remains but the concrete foundation and a narrow overgrown road that was once the driveway. Now, this person was like way off the beaten path, way off the beaten path. And by the way, there's no phone service out in this area too. My phone doesn't pick up out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of places in Rabun County out in the woods that there is no phone service. I've been there and done
There's
that.
none. There's none. You better have a satellite phone if you're going to go out this way. But they said that it was very cold the night before, mid-20s, but the sun was shining and it was nice and warm. They made a short hike down the old road bed to the spot at the river to go trout fishing. They went down to the river's edge to get some sunshine to try to warm up. And a few minutes, they heard what they thought was another fisherman or someone of above him where the old foundation was. And I thought, great, so much for peace and quiet. Must be hardcore trout fishermen like me to be out here in cold weather. And then he walked back up the embankment expecting to see people, but in broad daylight, what he saw was probably 30 to 40 yards directly in front of him is what he could only describe as what appeared to be a fully erect gorilla, except his face didn't protrude out. It was flatter and the hair was the color of a squirrel, brown, black, silver, and a slight tint of red when the sun reflected off of him. It was just standing there, head slightly tilted back, squinting his eyes, soaking up the sunshine, just as I was. I couldn't comprehend what I was looking at first. My first thought was, what am I looking at? Second thought was, God, look how big he is. And it was incredibly muscular, at least 4 feet wide at the shoulders, 7 to 8 feet in height, massive animal. The skin was dark grayish color around the face. Head was extremely pointed, like a dunce hat almost. No neck, large pectorals visible under the hair. Eye color was a shade of amber. and it was squinting in the bright sun, soaking up some warmth. He didn't really see me at first, I don't think. I did kind of pop up over the embankment. I thought he knew I was there, but didn't really know where. He could have been trying to smell me. I watched this massive, beautiful animal standing there in the bright sun for about 15 to 20 seconds. I had a feeling of amazement, wonder, and actually privileged. I knew that what I was looking at was truly one of God's immaculate creations. It was beautiful, big, and scary as hell, but beautiful. Hair was clean, looked groomed almost, very healthy. 15 to 20 seconds of seeing this, I actually stepped up over the embankment all the way in view, and I said out loud something like, "Hey, big boy, ain't you a pretty thing?" Oh my God. That's when it finally saw me.
Well, that was certainly an interesting thing to say. And how long ago was this?
This was about 12 years ago when this happened. This is interesting. Let's see how the Bigfoot actually responded to him. He said that's when it saw him. It dropped its head down and froze. I could tell I surprised it. It wouldn't make eye contact. I could see its whole body posture change. It became very shy and acted like it was hoping that as long as it didn't look directly at me, I wouldn't see him. Like a bashful child, he took a few steps towards it and said, "Hey, big boy," or something to that effect. That was enough for him. It turned to its left and he was out of there. I could hear the limbs and leaves rustling as he made his getaway. He moved like a deer going up the mountains very fast. Didn't see him, but I could hear him. After about 5 seconds, the rustling stopped and it was totally silent. Then I clearly hear what sounded like someone doing a drum roll with wooden sticks on a wooden table. 3 brat-tat-tats, very quick, very clear. Definitely not a woodpecker. No doubt in my mind it was him. He had traversed the mountainside and was on the ridgeline above me in no more than 5 to 10 seconds. Unbelievable. I never felt threatened, never felt afraid. Was a feeling of privilege and respect. I set up camp and stayed at that spot for the night and then all the next day, but never saw it again. Spent most of my life in those mountains walking feeder creeks, backpacking, fishing, and fishing for brook trout. Thought I knew all there was to know. That day changed my life. Made me question my sanity, my eyesight. I have 20/20 vision, but my understanding of the natural world. I've been back several times, but never saw him ever again. And I find that really interesting. Now, the person who took that report is interesting. That's David Bacara. He owns the Georgia Bigfoot Museum up in Cherry Log. So
yes, he does.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. So that's what I really love about this BFRO.net website. You can go click on every county in every state in the United States, and you can see what kind of reports they have and what the investigators say is very thorough, as a matter of fact. And of course, people have complained a little bit. They don't always add the paranormal stuff to some of these reports, so they've left them out in the past, like UFOs and portals and disappearing Bigfoots and things like that. They have notoriously been known to kind of leave that kind of stuff out. But I don't know. What do you think, John? What do you think? Does that sound magnificent? It
really does, because
yeah,
there are a lot of experiences that people have, and the more that they can really talk about them, it just brings credence to them. But some of those that you spoke of were like really compelling, and I would like to talk about them more and find out more about when they occurred and how they occurred. Because I'll tell you what, the Bigfoot experiences are very important to us. I've got 3 that I'm going to share at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference this weekend. And it's about sharing good information.
All right.
And that's all I've got to say.
Okay.
I'm gonna save a little bit of it for Saturday.
For Saturday. All right. Well, we will stay tuned because I'll be there to hear it on Saturday. Okay. And yeah, this is weird. This is cool too, Dawn. I know it's not the Bigfoots we're talking about tonight, but I think this is important because there's a lot of stuff going on in northeastern Ohio, John. They have had what they call it a flap. That is the weirdest word to describe a a big cluster of UFO sightings or Bigfoot sightings. I call it a flap, apparently.
Okay.
And so they've had a flap of Bigfoot sightings, I guess that's how you say it. And Don says, has anyone mentioned the meteor explosion over Northeast Ohio and maybe how it relates to the Bigfoot sightings there before them heading south? Maybe they knew the meteor was coming. That's wild.
Well, I mean, whether they knew it or not, the thing happened, and it'll go along with history. People will forget about it and go on, and that's the whole point. People tend to forget about these UFO sightings or this group of UFO sightings. They really do.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, in this case, there was a meteor. Actually, my friend Mike Tornincasa is he's with MT Paranormal Life. Sometimes he's in the chat, and then he's been on the show a couple of times as my guest and co-host too. And he sent me some very interesting posts last night. As a matter of fact, he's just posted some videos with him and the cameraman crew. If you guys follow them on YouTube, and they went out in the woods and did some investigations of this, because the last I heard there had been like 8 Bigfoot sightings up there, and I think they were mostly from the guy from Bigfoot Society had, I think this might be one of the posters. Ohio, there we go. Northeast Ohio analysis, Bigfoot travelways. This is from the Bigfoot Mapping Project, and I can promise y'all, Bigfoot Dwarf's in the chat today. He's been covering this over on his channel for sure. He does wonderful reporting on these Bigfoot sightings. In case y'all want to go over there, if you hadn't subscribed to Bigfoot Dwarf, y'all go do that, and the Bigfoot Mapping Project as well. But they have lots of Bigfoot sightings in the same area. And then Mike sent me a video of the actual meteor like coming. It was weird. Lots of high strangeness. And last week, the audience will remember this. I had Barry on the show. Barry gave me a coordinate remote viewing target from, I think it was the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken. And that was of a Bigfoot seen carrying a glowing orb through the woods in Pennsylvania. I think it was in Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh, I think. But carrying this orb, and then a UFO came flying over the woods, over the tree line, beamed some light down into the woods, and the Bigfoot with the orb ran into the light and disappeared, John. And that was my remote viewing target. And so there's definitely, in my opinion, through these targets and all the research, it seems as though there is a connection to UFOs and Bigfoot. And I think that was a wonderful target to bridge those two communities together there. To have a little bit of proof when it comes to remote viewing proof, if you know what I mean, the data. But John, I think that's something that comes up quite often, and you combine that in the conferences that you have. You bring MUFON members, which is the Mutual UFO Network, I think, with Bigfoot researchers, and it actually is a great combo because we're out there experiencing the same things together as far as UFOs and Bigfoots go.
That is very true. MUFON, and he tells us about stories that seem a lot about some of the Bigfoot stories that we have, because there is really a correlation between the Bigfoot and the UFO stories. You're 100% right.
That's right. Thank you, Don. He says, yep, Eastern Ohio is the Bigfoot Triangle, which includes Salt Fork State Park and Lodge. Man, I would love to get a chance to go up there and investigate. I'm going to have to see if Mike will host us up there sometime and go do that and hang out. Yeah, Raj says Ohio has been the hot spot for a long time. Yes, it has been for a lot of stuff. And Leah has a good point too, because what about all the Egyptian artifacts and giant bones found in the mounds of Ohio? Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I don't believe we know the true history, how far back it goes of the Egyptian settlements and things around here and up in Ohio. And I think that could attribute to some of these Bigfoot sightings, dogman sightings. And
well, I
Ohio,
think, and I'll break in and I'll say this. In general, they don't want to correlate these various sightings that we see as Bigfoot and UFOs. They don't like to correlate them with the things that they're coming up with.
Okay. Oh, yeah. William, what's up, William? He says, there's no proof of the Ohio Bigfoot encounters recently. Ooh, the plot thickens. I think it is related to the paranormal activity in the area. Whoa. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that myself, William. I was wondering about that too. I did see your show with Eric. Okay. And you guys were talking about that where it's just like one, I hate to say this, but like one podcaster was like getting all the, putting all that out and stuff. And so I get it. I get it. And that makes sense. So that would actually make a good remote viewing target. Okay. And maybe I'll get that one day. But yeah, we gotta, there's just a lot
Well,
of
I
like
tell you what,
information
I'll keep
overload.
pestering you about it, and you'll just have to come up.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Good question, Bigfoot Dwarf. Did the meteor destroy anything? I don't know. I hadn't heard a whole lot about it other than what Mike sent me. So it's something to look into. It was all kind of, I had a very busy day yesterday, y'all. Very busy day. I missed a couple of appointments actually because I was so busy yesterday. So I didn't get to look into all this, but I did hear about it. But yeah, way interesting stuff here. All right. I don't know. Do I want to go over this last sighting at a Rabun? I think I kind of do. Let me see. Let me pull this down. Let the audience see it. We only have one more. And this is actually at a campsite out at War Woman Dale. I don't think. This is where somebody got, I think they were getting rocks thrown at them. And I can't say that's never happened to me out there in those areas.
That sounds pretty scary. Please continue.
I know. Have you ever had a rock thrown at you, John?
Not really.
No. Okay.
So
Now,
am I not part of the club?
Well, you're still part of the club. I'll let you in. You're in the cool kids club.
Thank you.
Okay, this was back in the winter of 2009, and a witness spotted a Bigfoot approaching in their camp. And there are War Woman Dale is actually I know where that is, and it's a very dense forest. And I wanted to make I wonder if this is Matt Pruitt's investigation. It is. Okay, perfect. All right, Matt Pruitt used to go out with my team quite often. Okay, so
Right.
It's a state-run campsite in Clayton. And the person who had this encounter was they were asleep in my tent when something hit me. I woke up and realized that my tent was being bombarded by rock, which I thought was being caused by one of my friends. I poked my head out of the tent because my buddy and I had forgotten to zip it. I looked around and I was about to pull my head back in when I saw a strange figure slightly in the brush staring at me. I yelled, not knowing what to do, and woke up my buddy who was in my tent. I proceeded to tell him what had happened, and he didn't believe me. In the morning, we proceeded to get up and investigate. We found no footprints, but the brush had obviously been disturbed. There were also several stones by the side of both tents that seemed to have been thrown there. Although we had planned to stay another night, we left. And I shared my story with everyone. And they said they saw several stones that were thrown at the tents. They were all asleep, but they witnessed the evidence. And they were next to a creek. It was brushy but clear with many paths. And Matt Pruitt, y'all might know Matt, people in the chat today. But he said he spoke to several witnesses about the incident. And though not many details could be discerned about the figure, they were certain it was large, covered with hair, and he found him truthful. Now, I wanted to read, I think this is really cool because this is where we're going to be this weekend at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference. It says Rabun County has more of the Chattahoochee National Forest within its borders, which is 148,684 acres, 601 square miles or square kilometers, then that has more national forest within its borders than any other of the 18 counties with land included in that forest. It has an annual rainfall of over 70 inches per year, making it one of the rainiest places east of the Mississippi River. In terms of the terrain and environment, it's one of the most likely places for Bigfoot to thrive.
Jessica, that's really incredible.
It is a classified as an actual rainforest. If y'all didn't know that, in Georgia, we have a rainforest in Georgia. It says it's one of the most likely places for Sasquatches to thrive in the Southeast U.S. And members of the Georgia BFRO team, including Matt, have had encounters in the area as well as finding and documenting fresh Sasquatch tracks in remote portions of the county. Now, I find this really cool, and I'm glad that he included this. Historically, there are several references to Sasquatches in the area. There are a few places with Cherokee names that refer to these animals, as well as European settlers' reference. The oldest written account describing these animals in the area comes from 1812. According to an article printed by the Delphos, Ohio Daily Herald, a number of men from Virginia formed a search party with the sole purpose of locating one of these animals in 1816, but their efforts were of no avail. And that's Matt. He's from Georgia, I believe. And yeah, that's pretty fascinating. And those are the actual three. Those are the three Bigfoot sightings that are on the BFRO website out of Rabun County. So, John, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay. You're just listening? Okay. Just checking on you there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, that concludes the reports actually out of Rabun County. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I kind of like the Woods Helpers encounter just as much, if not better, than all
Well,
of those.
I'm going to be up in Commerce pretty soon, and I'm going to start talking about these Woods Helpers and see what information I can find. I'll be up there next week,
Okay.
and I think it's going to be very important because the Woods Helpers, that's like great interaction with a Bigfoot type creature, don't you think?
Oh yes. Yes, for sure. I mean, I might be getting out and doing me some Bigfooting over the weekend, by the way. Okay. And I think that the weather's going to be perfect. And I'm going to have some great Bigfooters there. We're going to have the NCI guys coming down, and so I'm gonna maybe get out with them this weekend. I will, by the way, to the audience, we will have a live show on Saturday night. I'll be back here on Saturday night, and we got Barton Nunley, or what was he
Oh,
called?
but Barton Nunley is great.
Yeah, Barton's great. Yeah.
He's very interesting and has a lot of information. And he's a good friend of Elijah Henderson, which is our friend. We need to get now, Jessica. We need to get Elijah Henderson on this show.
Oh, yes, we do. We do. I definitely would love to have Elijah on the show for sure. I heard a lot about him when I was at the LBL about a week or so ago.
Well,
And
yeah, right.
yeah,
And his father was Johnny Henderson, the legendary dude that explored land
the
between the
LBL.
lakes. And
That's right.
and of course, if I can get up there, maybe we need to go to Vampire Hotel because I think
Oh gosh.
Vampire Hotel is very interesting. There's there's a lot of history there, and Vampire Hotel is really a good thing. So I hope that we can go do that.
Oh yeah. I've got it on my calendar for one day. It's a open calendar right now. But I definitely want to go do that. And I will be going back to the land between the lakes here pretty soon, and getting some more boots on the ground research out there with some of those fellas, including Barton, by the way. And so yeah, we're gonna actually, Barton's written a book called Inhumanoids, and it he a lot, and I agree with this. A lot of people don't believe that Bigfoot is an actual cryptid. It's more of an inhumanoid, is what they call Bigfoot,
Well, I mean,
and I
when
I
was it?
agree with that.
When was the last time you were up there with Bart Nunley? About
About a
approximately.
about a week ago, about 2 weeks ago now, I think, about a week and a half.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was just up
He's
there.
a great guy, and he's very adept at being up there and helping you find things.
He is all the Inhumanoids, and I've joked around with him before a long time ago. I said, "Well, I'm going to have to be the Inhumanoid, the Inhumanoid Huntress," which sounds really weird. It doesn't have a good ring to it. But if I'm looking for Bigfoot, they say it's not a cryptid. Some people believe it's not a cryptid. It's not classified, and
You
we shouldn't be
you
classifying as that.
you are not the inhumanoid cryptid
Huntress.
researcher. You are, the inhumanoid thing. That's kind of a weird topic, just in and of itself.
Yes, it is. Well, we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about all the Inhumanoids, and that includes not only, I mean, I think that's a great classification actually, because it includes Bigfoot and Dogman and all the other strange creatures that are out there. And honestly, Martin has a wonderful YouTube channel. You guys need to go over there and subscribe to Inhumanoids with Barton Nunley, actually. And he's got some incredible videos of creatures out there that I don't think they've gotten enough. I don't think it's gotten enough attention. Some of these videos, I mean, it is incredible. I mean, it looks like pale crawlers and stuff, like up close, that they got on film that they didn't even see. They didn't even see it in the environment when they were filming. But when they went back and looked, there's these things with big glowing eyes. And I mean, it's really creepy. And we're going to talk about it on Saturday night. So y'all better come back and hang out with
No,
me.
I'll tell you what, anything with glowing eyes is scary.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
Don,
because the Mothman is the first thing that I learned way a long time ago that has glowing red eyes. And we know how that Mothman thing happened. The Mothman basically saved my life. And I saw those two glowing red eyes. It was terrifying.
oh, you saw the Mothman.
Yes, I did on Highway 90 here in Horry County. I had 4 trips from my apartment to my new location where I was going to live, and I dozed off. I was so tired, and all of a sudden I heard this weird scratching on the hood of my car. And I thought, oh God, what is this? So, and it just kept on going. And then I looked up briefly in the rearview mirror, and there were these 2 glowing red eyes. And I realized I was almost down in Pauley Swamp on Highway 90.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably the most frightened I've ever been in my life. And
Oh my gosh.
thank God that I got out of that alive. And I
Yeah.
attribute that to the Mothman. When people say that the Mothman will come to see you in various places, I believe he came to Horry County. He's in Chicago, and of course in West Virginia. I mean, you just never know when the Mothman's going to hit you.
Oh man, I need to get that put on a shirt. Never know when the Mothman's going to hit
You
you.
see, I mean, the Mothman is the harbinger of doom. But I believe, since I've been involved with the Mothman, I believe he's the harbinger of, if you're going to get in trouble physically, he'll try to help you.
You have such a positive outlook on all of these creatures, John. I can appreciate that.
I mean,
Hope it always stays that way.
The Mothman, I believe, saved my life. And I can't change my opinion on that. I believe he saved my life.
That's
Again, I
wonderful.
wonder why he saved it. Maybe it was so that I could be on the Cryptid Huntress show. I mean,
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
I think it's very important that we realize there are many times that our life is saved, or we have had, that our life is saved, or we have been blessed to have strange creatures or cryptids save us. And
Yes.
we got to realize, I mean, who else is going to save us from imminent doom? Really?
I know, right? Well,
Jessica,
we have some
Jessica,
friends in the chat that have been saved by cryptids as well, John.
pardon me?
Interviewed. I said, we have some people in the chat, including my good friend, Gary Spikes. What's up, Pops? Is in the chat, and his life has been saved by Bigfoots before. So it happens. They do look out for us.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. Thank goodness.
And I truly believe, as a big fan of the Mothman, and I've got his book right in there. I think the Mothman is here to help us.
Oh my
and in
gosh.
fact, didn't we know a young man that talked about the Mothman, and he was up in West Virginia. And I kind of didn't like his story, but I might have liked his story now. Was that with you, or was that with someone else?
I don't know. It might have been somebody else. I don't know. I don't have a good memory at my old age.
You're not old. You're wonderful. But I tell you, sometimes you hear these stories and you just don't remember where you got these stories, but you know you got them.
Yeah, no, you got them. You got downloads. Yes, thank you. Look, Gary says Dogman and Bigfoot have saved mine, so why wouldn't a Mothman? That's right. Absolutely. Thank you, Gary. Thank you for being here, Gary. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody for being here. We have a wonderful chat today. I've been enjoying watching y'all's comments over here and stuff. And it's wonderful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Terry. Terry Brown's in the chat, y'all. What's up, Terry? Tales of a Sonic Voyage. Great show. It always makes my day when I see you. Thank you, Terry. You're so sweet. I hope I get to see you in person again soon. And I saw Jay Painter. Jay said he's going to try to come to the West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall. Thank you, Jay. You better be there.
And, absolutely, he better be, because
yeah,
ScaryCast and everything is a big sponsor of that, along with, of course, the Cryptid Huntress. We're going to have a great town hall meeting, and people are going to enjoy it. And you're going to talk. You can talk about your own Bigfoot experiences, and I think that's important.
Yes, that's what we want. We want people to come out and share your experiences with us. Of course, I will be there to be a filler in case nobody shows up. Okay, I'll be there talking. Don't worry. Oh my gosh. And I actually just put the word out. So I want all my friends who are researchers to know we just did this last night. It's something that's been in the works for a while, but we just put it out there today. And we haven't fully invited everybody yet to be a part of that. So I'm not leaving anybody out, y'all. If you want to be a part of it, please let me know. And I'm going to be making my rounds to all my friends who live in Alabama and Georgia and all around. See if any of y'all want to come and participate in that. And we should get a pretty good crowd there, right, John? But I think hopefully at least 100 people will show up.
I think we'll have a wonderful crowd. We're gonna have burgers and Cokes and everything good to eat, and people can talk about their Bigfoot experiences all day.
Oh my gosh!
You know what? Now, Jessica, I've got a couple that I have not shared with everybody. So I'll be sharing them too. You'll be sharing your experiences. And we expect about 150 people there. So please come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be the West Georgia Bigfoot experience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So show up, darn it.
Oh my gosh. Wait, Terry says he's going to be there. Are you coming? You better come to that. Yeah, I mean, listen, okay, I wanted to let me just pull up real quick. I want to show everybody where we're going to be. Okay. And we've got two different locations.
Jessica, it's a beautiful place. Those people are so nice, and they're so excited about having the Bigfoot community there because they have a little secret, don't they?
Are you talking about
they have Bigfoot t-shirts, and we're going to talk about augmenting those and adding to them. So you can come get a Bigfoot t-shirt, you can have a great cookout, and you can hear stories about Bigfoot. That's all that matters. Isn't that a great way to spend a Saturday?
It is. Well, you know what? I actually didn't mean to have this page on the screen, but let's go ahead and talk about it because McIntosh Reserve is named after Chief William McIntosh. And he and his family were actually massacred on this land. This was some of their land that they owned. And I think their graves are actually there on that property. And it says the massacre is only the signal for a ferocious Indian war bursting upon us like a thunderbolt. So wrote President John Adams in his diary on May 16th of 1825, after learning of the unaliving of Chief William McIntosh. He was the son of a Scottish captain in the British Army and full-blooded Creek Indian woman belonging to the influential Wind clan. He ultimately became a chief aligned with the Lower Creek faction and operated a backwoods plantation, tavern, and ferry on the Chattahoochee River. The Indian War, Adams fears, did not immediately materialize, but the controversy surrounding his death during the period of removal of the Creeks and Cherokees from Georgia created a crisis between the federal government and the state of Georgia. And so let me go back. I'm going to show you guys. This is the cabin that's out there on this land. It's a huge, big old piece of property out in part of Carroll County in West Georgia. And this is it's just a really cool place to go. Now, if you guys are familiar with Greg Ogles and Relic's film, I was just in his Vanished film where he featured the Dennis Martin case, amongst others, of missing people. Greg has been out here filming before, and they actually watched a Native American man on a horse as an apparition trotting through the land right in front of them, and it disappeared into the trees. Okay, so this is an area their logo on their T-shirts, John, actually has a Bigfoot on it. I've talked about this before. They very much embrace Bigfoots there because there's so many Bigfoot sightings on this property, and this is where we're having the West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall coming up next month. This April the 25th, and so you guys please mark it on your calendars and come join us at that. You can go to my website for more information.
You know, Jessica, we're going to have just such a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. People are going to meet people, and then we're going to share stories about Bigfoot.
Yes. Heck yeah. Now this area is on the opposite side of where we're going to be this weekend in Clayton. We're going to be actually like on the line where Alabama touches Georgia. Okay. On the other side of the state. So if you're in this area, come see us. Like I said, we'll have another website for this, but for now, just go to my website. I've got information there, thecryptidhuntress.com, if you're interested in that. And also this weekend, we do have the Georgia Bigfoot Conference. Please come see us. We're going to have a great crowd at that. And that's going to be at another location. Let's see. Let me pull this location up, John.
And the Georgia Bigfoot Conference will be just south of Clayton in a little tiny town called Tiger, Georgia. And it's going to be great. There's so many people that seem to be all ready to come there. People have bought tickets, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I want everyone to join us. I'll be the host, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
Jessica, will you be there?
Oh, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. Now, this is the website here for Big Shoals Junction. I guess that's the building right there. It's just like a little it's a conference center, tucked away in the mountains of North Georgia. And so if you guys want to come see us at that, please do. John, you always put on a great event. And
well, thank you. And we're all, I've also spoken with my buddy there. We're going to be doing the World UFO Conference there in July, and we're going to be doing a Christmas event. Now, what's interesting is that Clayton is having a big 4th of July parade. And I'm talking to the Chamber of Commerce about ending the 4th of July parade at the Bigfoot Joel's Gun at the junction, and it's going to be so much fun. We'll have a great time. So we'll see how that goes. Okay.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. And William says, I'm telling you, you must not ignore the native connection with Bigfoot. Absolutely. 100%. And maybe that's why there's so many Bigfoot at McIntosh Reserve. You know, there's lots of sightings there. And I find it really cool that, you know, one of my favorite things is when like a state park or, you know, even national park, whatever, they really embrace the Bigfoots being seen there, the Bigfoot sightings and stuff. And, you know, I used to joke around about the Talladega National Forest. We go there to Cheehaw, the Cheehaw Mountain, and to go hiking and stuff. And if you go to the place where you go sign in and stuff to like get your campsite, I forgot what you call it, a little building. You go check in, and it's like all Bigfoot from wall to wall. Bigfoot plushies, Bigfoot stickers, Bigfoot keychains, Bigfoot magnets, Bigfoot t-shirts and stuff. And man, I love that. I love it. I'm partial to Bigfoot, by the way. But yes, thank you, William. That is a great comment right there. And yeah, let's see. Okay, well, John, this has been a great show today. I've really enjoyed having you here. Thank you for being here with me and sharing your wisdom.
It's been a lot of fun. I've got to go get back and start talking to people and make sure that everyone's going to be coming. And Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress, You are wonderful, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody at the conference, and that's going to be a wonderful time. Y'all come see us at that, and then we're going to be getting on it, doggone it, on this West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall. It will be the first of many town halls that we'll be doing around the state of Georgia, y'all. And but yeah, this is in my neck of the woods this time. And as a matter of fact, it may or may not be where around the area where Bob used to live, Bob Grumpy Wilson. So this is going to be a wonderful event. He would have loved this.
Excuse me, Jessica. You mentioned Bob Grumpy. He was one of the most wonderful people that we ever had. And his last conference that he attended was the Georgia Bigfoot Conference. And we all loved the fact that he was there. He was just a godsend. He had lots of information, lots of really good information, but we really liked him. He was so personable. He really was. And I want to say, hey, Bob, we love you.
We miss you, Bob. That's right. Well, he's going to be there in spirit with us. That is like right down the road from where he lived. And so I think it's going to be a wonderful tribute to Bob. We might even put a big old poster of Bob up on the building or something. Who knows? That man was larger than life, y'all. And yeah, I can't wait. So more information coming soon. If anybody lives over there and you guys want to be a vendor or whatever, please hit me up. And it may be a little event, John, or it might end up getting out of control big. We don't know. Okay. Considering how many Bigfoot sightings there are and how much promotion I can do boots on the ground over here, we might have a big old crowd. Okay. But anyways, you guys, please come back and see me tomorrow night. We do have MK Davis coming on the show tomorrow night. And we're going to address all that controversy surrounding the Patterson-Gimlin film and people claiming that was actually a hoax and stuff. And we're gonna kind of hit it from every angle tomorrow, and it's gonna be a fantastic show. I can't wait. I think MK's excited about coming on too.
Well, Jessica, can I make a comment about the validity of the Patterson-Gimlin footage? Is that okay?
Yeah, tell me.
I have studied this particular sighting for years.
Okay.
And I do not believe that it is a hoax. I want to go onto the record and say, this thing really happened. And sometimes people just want to create things that aren't true. That's all I'll say. But I believe Patterson-Gimlin is absolutely true. I've talked to people that have been there, and there's a very, very important sighting. Well, not necessarily sighting, but report by Mr. Morrison of the Morrison costume.
Oh yeah, you tell me about that. That's out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And everybody better be careful about that, because there might be more to this thing that meets the eye. But now, do you know when this is supposed to come out?
I have no idea. I don't know. I've kind of I have been swamped with so much stuff coming at me the past couple of days. I have no idea what's what. And I've been wanting to, Blazer said, leave Patty alone. Yes. And I mean, not everybody agrees. See, Bigfoot Dwarf doesn't always agree with some of the stuff that MK may be saying and stuff. So that's why we're going to have a really great conversation tomorrow night with him. And I want to get it from every angle. I'm going to go in very unbiased. I'm going to try to be unbiased. I'm going to try.
Well, here's the deal. There's been, if you think about it, there's been so much publicity around the Patterson-Gimlin footage. Don't you think that if someone had come up with these questions before now, that we would have heard them?
Yes, I know. Well, we're going to get into all that tomorrow night. I've honestly been trying to kind of not say a whole lot about it because I want to wait to get MK on and just kind of hash it out and then see what the other side is too. You know what I mean? So,
well, and it's wonderful that you have MK Davis, he is a real expert on all this. So we've got to realize that the Cryptid Huntress always has the best guests on.
I do, including you. And Blazer said, we
Oh,
deserve better
oh Lord,
psyops.
thank you. I'm just your friend. This is nothing more than one of our phone conversations. But I really
Exactly.
want to say thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a lot of fun, and
It's
you're
always
just the best in the world at bringing the cryptids out to the real world. So thank you,
thank
Jessica. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. This is a flyer one more time, y'all. You can find it all on my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. If you want to go get tickets, please go to the Georgia Bigfoot Conference .org to get your tickets. If you guys want to come, I'll share the screen and let y'all see exactly what that looks like. I'm sorry, I got one more screen to share before we go today. I know it's getting late and I got to run. But this is it. Tickets are $15 to get in for adults. I guess, are children paying 15 too, John?
No,
Or is it just
kids
adults?
kids under 12, or if they're 13 or 14, I'll let them in for free because we love to have kids there and let them know the truth about Bigfoot.
Yes, this is the website though. If y'all want to go get your tickets there and just print them out, bring them with you or show it on your phone, and yeah, should be good to go, y'all. Okay, and so we'll see you there. And also, don't forget, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of these West Georgia Bigfoot Town Hall flyers, and we'll be talking about that coming up as well. All right, everybody. I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. Be here with bells on, y'all. We have MK Davis live 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. We're talking about the Patterson Gimlin film tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. And I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Blazer, MT, and Tales of the Sonic Voyage. That's Terry. Thank y'all for the super stickers today. That means the world to me. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you to my moderators. And yeah, I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. And I can't wait. All right, John, I'll see you this weekend. Y'all have a great day. Bye,
See you
y'all.
this weekend. Take care.